Okay, let's dive into something that's really shaking up how we approach residential structural design. We're talking about a platform called Nodey. But before we get into the solution, let's start with a problem that probably feels, well, a little too real for a lot of you.
Seriously, why? If you're an engineer, an architect, or a designer, this question probably hits close to home. It's this constant dance, right? You're jumping between architectural plans, your own spreadsheets for load calculations, and then your analysis software, and none of them are really talking to each other. It's this juggling act that causes so much wasted time and, let's be honest, a ton of frustration.
We're calling this what it is, a familiar design headache. It's this frustrating cycle of work that's so baked into our process that we often just accept it. We forget to even ask, hey, wait a minute, is there a better way to do this?
You know the drill. You spent all this time carefully marking up a PDF with all your structural elements. Then you hop over to a spreadsheet to punch in all the numbers for your load calculations. You run your checks, you think you're finally done, and then you find out a window moved or a wall shifted. And just like that, you're right back at square one, redoing every single calculation and just crossing your fingers that no little errors slip through the cracks. This slide really just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's a tale of two completely different worlds. On the left, you've got the chaos of the traditional workflow. Everything's manual, you have a bunch of disconnected tools, and the risk of making a mistake is just always there. But then you look to the right, and you see a much smarter way to work. Intelligent markups, one unified platform, and engineering logic built right in.
So, how do we get from that messy side to the clean side? Well, the solution is this platform we're talking about, Nodey. It's designed to be a single, connected workspace that finally brings some sanity to the whole residential design process. The whole idea behind Nodey is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. It's an AI-powered platform that takes those four key stages of design, the markup, the calculations, the detailing, and all the reporting, and brings them together into one seamless workflow. Now, this is really important. Nodey is not here to replace engineers, it's here to empower them. The whole goal is to get rid of those repetitive, soul-crushing tasks, the stuff that eats up all your time. This lets professionals like you work faster and with a whole lot more confidence. It's really about turning a fragmented, messy workflow into a single, reliable source of truth.
So that's the big idea. But how does it all actually work? How does the magic happen? Let's pop the hood for a minute and see what makes Nodey tick. Okay, one of the biggest fears with any AI tool is the black box problem, right? Where you get an answer, but you have absolutely no idea how the system came up with it. Well, Nodey was designed to be the exact opposite of that. Every single calculation is transparent. It shows you the step-by-step logic so engineers can have total confidence in the results and have clear documentation for those council reviews. Nothing is hidden. The workflow itself is incredibly straightforward. First, you just upload your PDF or your CAD files, and you draw your structural elements right on top of the plan. Then, Nodey's AI engine just takes over. It automatically calculates all the loads and sizes the members for you. And finally, with just one click, you generate all your consent-ready reports. Simple as that. And here it is. This is the real game changer. Because everything is connected in one place, if you move a beam or if a load changes, every single document updates in real time. The calculations, the schedules, the reports, all of it. That endless, painful cycle of rework we talked about earlier, it's just gone. Now, this connected workflow is way more than just a cool feature. It has a massive impact in the real world. Let's take a look at some of the numbers coming out of early testing because they are pretty staggering.
First up, get ready for this, a 95% reduction in design time. By automating all the most tedious parts of the job, Nodey frees up a huge amount of time on every single project. Just think about that for a second. What could you do with all that extra time? Take on more clients, focus on more creative work, maybe even just get your evenings back.
Next, an 80% reduction in consenting RFIs. Those requests for information from the council that can bring a project to a grinding halt. Because Nodey's reports are so clear and so consistent, there are way fewer questions and delays. That means a much smoother and faster approval process. And finally, this one is huge for your peace of mind. 100% code compliance accuracy. This system automatically applies the latest New Zealand standards, things like NZS 3604 and NCS 1170. So you can be completely confident that every design is up to code, without any of the guesswork. But this is really just the start of the story. Nodey isn't some one-and-done tool. It's an evolving platform. It's got a really ambitious vision for the future of design.
This timeline kind of shows you the whole journey. It all started with that shared frustration we've been talking about, which led to building these core engineering engines. The first beta is on track for early 2026, and a full public launch is planned for the middle of that year. And after that, the focus is just going to be on continuously adding new features and capabilities.
The ultimate goal here is to create a tool that grows with the industry, one that adapts to new standards, new methods, and new technologies as they show up. This isn't just another piece of software that's going to be obsolete in a few years. The idea is for it to be a future-proof partner for your business. Which, of course, brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. When you look at the huge gap between that old, fragmented process and this new, unified, intelligent one, you have to ask yourself, is your workflow ready for the future?